tired. Welcome back to Black and Blue Garage for another episode of whatever I want to do. The outside of my shop is ugly because it's a mess, and the inside of my shop is ugly because I haven't finished it yet, and it's also a mess. I am going to upgrade my backdrop with a thing or two, but before I can do that, I gotta move this trooper out of the way so that I have room to put these large items into the shop and get them all set up. That should give me enough room to get these things in there. But before we can do that, let's talk about my shop and why I want to change things up a bit. For one thing, where you guys are standing, I've upgraded the lights and it's somewhat bright in there on that side of the shop. But this one has these 7-foot fluorescent light bulbs. They both buzz. There's the same lights over there. This one, which you might not even notice because this doesn't work. And this side of the shop is really dark. And this is usually where the front of the car is, or whatever vehicle I'm building. And it's where I'm usually doing most of my stuff, either on this side or on the front. So you may have noticed how messy the shop is. So over here you've got this countertop, which is completely filled with tools, metal, drill bits, and just all kinds of nasty. I don't even want to look over there. Over here, if you remember from watching before, I put these shelves in, but I never actually got any totes. So everything here is just kind of like piled up from the Jeep Comanche project, and this is really cool, but I've kind of filled it with brake building parts and all of my new Hercules tools. Then of course the worst of it, here we go. You got like plywood down here, painted plywood up here, you know, all this pegboard, which is brown side out. It's just like it's functional, and I see why the original owner set everything up like this, because it's super handy. You got all this, everything, it's visible, and but I hate pegboard. It's not me. And when you can tell by watching this video, which most of you have clicked off already, because the shop looks like this. Here's the problem, okay? I like everything to have a home, and I have these little toolboxes. There's like probably 4 or 5 small toolboxes in here, and nothing is actually like established a home for it. So by getting all of my tools in one spot to where they all have a place to live, I think will make a big difference. I need to get rid of the pegboard. I need to, like, you know, eventually paint this back wall all one color, and I need to organize these shelves with some totes or something, and truthfully get rid of a bunch of stuff or store it somewhere else. These shelves here are I bought these with the purpose of using it for consumables that I use all the time, and then also like the current project. So stuff that's on this shelf is for the current project. So everything over there, I didn't follow the rules. So both sides of these shelves are just filled up with like Jeep Comanche stuff. And since I just finished it, it's just all just kind of sitting there. So that needs to change. This shelf needs to clean off. Got little bolt bins and stuff. It's just horrible. It's bad. So I did buy a toolbox, and that's what this video is about today. I'm gonna set up my toolbox. Before I do that, I gotta kind of like move all this stuff and get it sort of cleaned up, and really just kind of move everything out of the way. Hopefully so I can back my truck up in here. All right, so that's a good start. At least the floor is empty, and I'm able to get my pickup truck backed into here. But there's a couple things that needs to happen before this toolbox can come in here. Last year, or maybe it was this year, I put this winch on the floor, and not only is it in the way, but I kind of messed up the alignment of, I'm doing it again. I kind of messed up the alignment of the fair lead in the winch, and so it kind of bound up into itself. And then I got to thinking, like, they make 120 volt winches that I could probably mount to the floor, and if I had my way, I'd mount it over here, because I'm usually pulling in this direction, because the way my driveway works comes around and in. So I'm gonna remove that and just get it out of the way. So I don't want to dedicate a 12 volt battery to sit here so that I could use this system anyway. I'll go ahead and fix this winch and put it on something else. Possibly could go on the Amigo. And then there's the issue that I have with pegboard. The only real things that I use the pegboard for is the clock, the temperature gauge, and my welding stuff. And now that I have an actual welding cabinet, I can move this stuff somewhere else. Helmets, I'd probably still like to hang up on a wall, but I think instead of hanging them on the wall, I'll stick them on top of the toolbox, because heck, sitting them on top of the toolbox will be easier than trying to hang them on these pegs without the pegs falling off the pegboard. I hate pegboard. Well, it's 8 o'clock already. At least it's only 85 degrees in my shop. Having things out in the open is nice because you can always see what's your stuff, but these jumper cables have been hanging there for so long, I forgot they were there because I stopped seeing them after a while. I actually bought new jumper cables. Here's black and blue jumper cables. Needs to have a home. If it doesn't have a home, it can't live there. This is another reason why I'm doing this. I can't find anything. I know that there's like all kinds of drill bits here, but because I don't have a toolbox big enough to put all this stuff, it's just piled up, and I need to find something that I can use to take screws out, because I only get to come out here like twice a month. I completely forget where I leave things, so having a toolbox where stuff like that has a home and is labeled or something would be good. If it looks sketchy, trust me, it'll be fine. Okay? It's actually not as sketchy as it looks. When you disassemble them, if you just pull the box straight off, then in videos I've seen, people pull the box off from the top and an explosion of styrofoam flies everywhere. I don't want to do that. Thomas, why did you get the slate gray color and not the black one or the blue one like your channel is named? And the answer to that is simple. they had these available in gray with both pieces that I wanted to order. And with a little modification that I want to do later to the handles, because I'm waiting for the things that I need in order to do that. It's going to look better with this color, trust me. With the exception of Season 2 and Season 3, Season 2 being that orange Amigo that we're building, which we'll probably paint a color which will be a surprise to you later. And next year, when I build something green, most everything that I would like to build in this shop will end up being either black or blue, and would not contrast very well with a jet black or a perfectly blue toolbox. So having this as like a kind of a different color in the background kind of makes the videos look better, in my opinion. It's got a ramp in order to get this toolbox down. So let me show you that. In that drawer there, it's all the stuff that they give you with this toolbox. This ramp was in there as well. They also give you a little book and an extension cord, because this is a powered toolbox, which is pretty neat. And then this box and hardware that shrink wraps to it is the handle. I might make a suggestion here for when you buy your toolbox. The ramp set up in front of this. You've got to remove a piece of wood in order for this to roll forward, but it has some screws in it. And so I just thought that when you take these screws out, it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of put them back in, kind of help hold the ramp there. I wonder if I read the instructions, it'll probably say that in there. That'd be funny. I think next we put the handle on so that we can pull this down in a nice controlled environment. I was actually inspired to make this purchase because I have a friend, Caleb, from Project XJ, who actually won the Tecton tools from the competition between Busted Knuckle and Leapin' Jeep, which is partly what the Beast Wars is based on. He won a full set of Tecton tools and a toolbox about this size. Well, he didn't win the toolbox, he bought the toolbox. But all those tools that he won look really good in a, around a 50-inch toolbox. And so I got inspired and thought maybe I need to upgrade my stuff too. I just hate the way it sounds, really. Oh, look at that. There's another chunk of wood I need to take off. Really gone great lengths to make this fun, haven't you, Harbor Freight? This is definitely nice, but this is only half of it. Now I get to open this thing. I'm not sure if I can lift this thing. That's going to be way too heavy for me to lift, like, by myself. What's up, buddy? It's a lot heavier than I thought it was. I was wondering if you could swing by and help me out for like a few minutes. But I can wait till you're done watching your movie, though. That's a relief. I was gonna try to break my back. Yeah, I missed all of that.
Huh?
Let's put it back on the ground and do it again.
Are you serious?
No. with a hand, it was actually pretty light.
Yeah,
I lifted up one end by myself, and I'm like, no, ain't no way. It's like felt like it was 600 pounds. Well, I would say that that is a significant improvement. I'm sorry I didn't have the camera on when Joe was over here to help me put the hutch on top. But he probably didn't want to be on YouTube anyway. So first thing I'm gonna do is pull all these plastic tracks out of here, because I don't need to lock these drawers, because unless I'm painting behind this or moving it to sweep, this thing never needs to move. Now, as far as safety is concerned, these little locking mechanisms is probably a good idea if you're moving your toolbox around a lot, because it could definitely have drawers slide out when you're moving around. But I'm not going to move this thing around. It's going to stay right there forever, unless I need to paint behind it, in which case I'll just be really careful. But now that I have a hutch, I have a place where I can put all of my Hercules tools right in here. This is the toolbox that I've been working out of, and it's got plenty of drawers, but nothing this long. This is 52 inches from inside to inside, as opposed to like the 3 square feet that I have in here for making. I wish I had better lighting. Let's see what I could do about that. So this is the fun part, probably more fun for me than it is for you. But I get to take all my tools and put them in here now. That's looking nice, and I have a ton of room. That's almost all my sockets, believe it or not. I guess so. I'm not going to make you watch me put all my tools in this toolbox. You get the idea. But basically, get all the tools in the shop, put it into this stationary toolbox, and then deep clean and organize this entire shop to include totes for the rack behind us. Probably some paint, finish the insulation, and just finish out this shop, because it's been something that I've been meaning to do for 2.5 years, or the entire build of that Jeep Comanche. So because I'm working out of a shop and running a YouTube channel based on working in the shop and building things, and if you think of that process as a production, this is basically a production company. And because this is a production, this shop is my studio. And so by having a beautiful studio to work in, by the time I'm done, I think that's going to increase the value of my videos and the quality, because everything is just going to look much better and stunning, and it really kind of makes you look like you know what you're doing when you have a nice clean shop. Anyways, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I'll see you next weekend.